Good morning. Hope everyone's having a wonderful begin to their Tuesday. And today's our lives, and we give you guys value every week. And we're showing you guys what we're doing in our Scouting for Life classes, and teaching people how to think from within to create the outside world that they desire. This month we're going over the subconscious mind and what the subconscious means to our life, our behavior, and our world. Why is it that very few are really successful and so many stuck in a rut, stuck in the routine, and they don't know why? I'm going to go over a couple of things this morning about that, and the 6 phases to goal creation. But first I want to touch on you. Everything that we're teaching here is about you, and what we're doing is we're giving you a better understanding of you. Who are you? Well, the first thing is to understand is that we are spiritual beings experiencing a physical reality. A lot of people are walking around saying, I want to be spiritual, I want to be spiritual, I want to be spiritual. You are always spiritual. The higher side of you is spiritual. And you're creating from an unseen world. You don't see your thoughts. You see the expression of the thought, which is in the physical world, 3D world. But the higher side of you is always spiritual. And what's going on is really the higher side of you wants to express itself. And the lower side of you, which is the subconscious side of you, the lower side of you, is already pre-programmed. You were pre-built to do and act a certain way. And if you don't rewrite your personality, that personality keeps rewriting your personal reality. Not on accident, but on plan. According to the environment you came into, according to the culture that you came into, according to the geography, according to the timeline you came in. All of those factors have built a culture aspect side of you, environmental program side of you, that you think that you're that. And the truth is, until you truly understand that you are not everything that everybody told you, you're actually a spiritual being experiencing a physical reality, and you have the ability to choose your ideas, to redesign your self-image. Well, some of you say, no, I know who I am. This is what they told me I am. Exactly. That's what they told you are. That's not who you are. We are spiritual beings experiencing a physical reality. So this spiritual being, this essence came into a body, it will move out of a body. It came into ideas, and it will eventually move out of those ideas. Because it's here temporarily. You are here temporarily. So then your essence came into ideas. And as long as it thinks it's those ideas, it's subject to them. It's very important to reevaluate who you are, to understand who you are. Understanding is the great secret to life because it helps you evolve into who you want to be. You'll never change until you understand something. And when you reevaluate your beliefs, you're going to start to understand that your beliefs are ridiculous, majority of them. But it's those beliefs that have been conditioned inside of you, and you keep believing in them. And you keep using those beliefs to create your reality. Your personality must change. And if it doesn't, it keeps producing the same personal reality. Now, as we go into this study, we use goals, and we teach goals and goal setting to help you grow. Again, goals are not to get, they're to grow. It's who you're becoming. These goals that we set are truly modifying you. A lot of people say, oh, this is personal development. And, I don't know about that. Well, school was personal development. The whole ride through was personal. The work you were doing was on you, not on anyone else. And that's why, whether you went to school or not, whether you built the memory or not, it's going to depict how much understanding you have about you Here we go again. It was all about you. You go through college and you pick a self-image you're going to go into. You pick a character that you're going to trade your time for money on. Now we're getting a better understanding again. You went through college, picking a self-image, picking up other people's ideas, changing your beliefs about things, adapting to the changes, personal. It was all personal development. Problem is, you stop personally developing yourself. Whether you went to school or not, depends if you went to college, depends if you conditioned your behavior into a new behavior or not. If you did, you went into a career, you took on a major, you majored in it, and then somewhere along the line, you stopped learning again. So either way, whether you went to college and you took on an idea, and you were even told how much more or less you're going to earn from that idea, that's what you went and did. If you didn't, well, then you went through life learning and trying to adapt and create your own income. And again, according to your beliefs, what you thought was possible is what you went and done. Some of you did push. Some of you pushed a little more, and you grew into who you had to become. But somewhere along the line, we all stop. Majority of individuals stop growing, stop personally developing yourself. Well, you can never get any further than what you are. So to the average individual, 95, 97% of the people around the world are stuck. And it gets to the point they don't know what to do anymore. And then they conform. So depending on your age, where you're at in life, and what you're doing, it's all going to go back to a state of mind, a mindset, and beliefs that have been conditioned in you. If it's coming, we've earned it. We really have. If it's coming, we've earned it. Some of you are ready for change. Some of you are so self-centered in the old self-image, you may not want change, not understand what change even means. Some of you are ready for the change, and it was all personal. You are where you're at, not because anybody has stopped you. It's because you chose to no longer grow. You have chosen to no longer grow. That's what will was. It was a freedom to decide. But will was the freedom to decide what images that you would work with. You stopped selecting images. Somewhere along the line, you stopped believing. Somewhere along the line, you stopped betting on you. You stopped wanting. You stopped imagining. Somewhere along the line, the beliefs stop you from desiring more. You'd say, well, that doesn't make any sense. Who would stop believing? Who would stop desiring? Well, why haven't you done any more? Why haven't you tried? Why haven't you made a definite decision that you're going to live the lifestyle that you desire? And you're going to write it down on a sheet of paper and commit to it. And make a committed decision to whatever the goal means. And then adapt to the change of who you have to become to have it. How many of you said, I'll do it when? I'll do it when the kids are out of school. I'll do it when we have money. I'll do it when, and before long, the wind's gone. If you don't believe me, go around to anyone that's around you and ask them when they stop dreaming. Go find older people. Go find the people in your surroundings and go ask them when they stop wanting more. They're going to tell you they don't know. They're going to think it's pretty peculiar. They're going to have to go inside and look inside and wonder, well, why did I stop wanting? Why did I stop desiring? Why would I give up on me? Why didn't I try more? Your desire has to be bigger than where you are. A goal needs to be something that's going to move you. The desire's got to be bigger than you. If not, the beliefs about you, to you, will stop you right on track. And on purpose, because it doesn't want you to go beyond what you don't know how to do, because it's scared. Let me say, I'm not scared of anything. If you're not scared, why haven't you done something? Why haven't you gone beyond where you're at today? What's been holding you back? You're going to think, well, there's nothing really holding me back. I just didn't want to. Then you're going to go back to the want. Why wouldn't somebody want more? You're going to go back to your beliefs. Well, because you don't believe you can be more. And that goes back to fear, doubt, and worry. What are people going to say? What are people going to think? What happens if I fail? All the common things that keep people stuck. Now, here's another great truth, and a lot of people have heard the will to power, the will to greatness. How about some of you that may not be aware, but are using the will to failure? And a lot of you may think, well, why would we want to will ourselves to failure? Why would you go on the opposite direction on purpose? Why would you waste every day doing things that you don't desire? It'd be the same thing as the will to failure. It's a very peculiar thing. Why would people waste away their life? So they have the will, but they're using it towards failure. You're going to use this day no matter what. You're going to use tomorrow no matter what. It's coming. Why wouldn't you will yourself to greatness? Well, you say, well, I am. Are you really? Did you make a decision? Did you write out a plan, an organized plan to that definite end? If you haven't, then there's another will working inside you. The most strangest thing. If you haven't determined reality with a pen and write it down where you're going and then the steps that you're going to take, then that means there's another will inside of you. It's working completely against growth. Such a peculiar thing. Why would we will ourselves to failure? With the time and energy we spend in making failure a certainty, we might have certain success. Listen to this. With the time and energy that we have, we've had it all this time. We would be able to will ourselves towards greatness, but we don't. We waste it away. We spend majority of our time towards failure. And we don't even recognize it. That's the strangest thing. If we did the opposite, we might have certain success. Sounds like a paradox, but it's a certain truth because it's happening right now. It's happening to you and it's happening around the world. I already know because I study psychology between belief and behavior. I already know. Majority are blind. Try to help them. I don't want any help. I don't need any help. I'm where I want to be. Are you really? You could have certain success, but something inside of you is willing itself to failure, willing itself to stay stuck. Now, why in the hell would you do that? Let's look at it. Suppose a man was going to go to an appointment, and that appointment determined whether he would be healthy and prosperous the rest of his life. And all he had to do was get in his car and drive there. And he had the exact amount of gas to get there. He had the exact amount of money to get there. And he had the time to get there. But somewhere along the ride, he decides to veer off. Unknowingly, he veers off. He takes his time and he goes in the wrong directions, or he gets lost. He loses time. Where he could have gone directly towards the path of success. He chooses to veer off. He chooses every excuse of not to go in that direction. And we would say this is illogical. But how many of us have lived this in this manner? We'll find every reason to ignore the thing we set out to do. We'll find every reason to let go of the dreams, the visions that we've had. We find every why to soak up your day, to conform, to conformity. Why would there be a will inside of you taking you off track? Suppose a man had an appointment hundreds of miles north of his house, and that if he kept it, he would be sure of having health, much happiness, fair prosperity for the rest of his life. He has just enough time to get there, just enough gas in his car. He drives out, but decides that it would be more fun to go 25 miles south before starting out. That is nonsense, isn't it? The gas had enough. Nothing to do with it. Time had no preference. And as to how it would be spent, the road ran north as well as south. Yet he missed his appointment. Now, if that man told us that after all, he had quite enjoyed the drive in the wrong direction, then in some ways he found it more pleasant to drive with no objective than to try to keep a date, and he had a touching glimpse of his old home by driving south, should we praise him for being properly philosophical about having lost his opportunity? He'd make an excuse for all those things. We would say no. He wasn't focused. If he had missed his appointment by getting into a daydream in which he drove automatically past a road sign or two, we should not absolve him. Or if he had arrived too late from having lost his way when he might have looked up his route on a good map and failed to do so before starting. We should review his judgment. Yet when it comes to going straight to the appointments we make with ourselves and our own fulfillment, we all act very much like the hero of this silly fable. We drive the wrong way. We fail, where we might have succeeded by spending the same power and time. Failure indicates that energy has been poured into the wrong channel. It takes energy to fail. Interesting. You're still going to fulfill your day. It doesn't matter where you're at today, what part of the world you're at. You're still fulfilling a state. You're still fulfilling life. You could have done something completely different, but yet you chose your fate because you had the will. But the will was your ability to select images. But for some odd reason, you keep picking the images that no longer serve you. Isn't that the strangest thing? You could have had anything. You could have been anyone. You could have been anything. But yet, you carefully selected with your will the images that have you stuck. Been studying psychology and behavior for a while. Studying people, watching people. I said, my God, there's something really strange. Why would these people not want more? It's really strange. What would stop these people from imagining? Well, there's a will to power. There's a will to success. And oddly enough, there's also a will to fail. The will for death. Isn't that odd? We fail where we might have succeeded by spending the same power and time. We all have the same power, and we all have the same time. But for some odd reason, 97, 98% use that power and that time to stay stuck. Isn't that the strangest thing? I don't like the word failure. I don't believe in the word failure. It's appearance of unknown causes, unknown forces. You're not awake. You're not alive. You're not aware. We can call it a folly instead of failures, follies. The folly indicates that energy has been poured into the wrong channel. It takes energy to make a folly. Just as the man that unconsciously kept going in the wrong direction to his appointment. How you unconsciously have not decided to set a goal. How you unconsciously, unaware, have not desired to be more and to have more. How you unconsciously are being controlled not to go be and have more. Now, this is something which we seldom see at once. That's why it's so odd, so strange. We don't see it all at once. We're not even aware of it because we commonly think of failure as the conventional opposite of success. We continue to make false ideas, theses, and qualities which attend success and failure. Success is bracing, active, alert. So the typical attitude of failure, we believe, must be lethargic, inertia. True enough, but that does not mean that no energy is being used. The same energy is being used. That's why you're so lost. In the absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely what? Enslaved by daily trivia. The daily trivia that we have imposed in ourselves in this life, you think that you're winning. You think that you're winning. But yet you're just mere experiencing. Energy is still being spent. You're going to go spend energy today. Do you know who you are? I said at the beginning of this, I said, one of the biggest things is knowing who I am. I'm a spiritual essence experiencing a physical reality. The problem is that you're experiencing your ideas from your environment. And the majority of people didn't know who they are. And they got lost in this lethargic idea of busy work. Busy work doesn't take you anywhere because there was no definite end. You know how many people are conditioned to do busy work? just so that they stay what? Entertained. No definite end. No real desire. Trade their time for a little bit of money to get little things, to live a little life, to live in a little way. When your spiritual essence is telling you inside, and you know this is true, it happened to me. You know there's more. You know you're more. You know you can have more. Quit wasting your time. If you can feel it, you've earned it. How many of you are tired of feeling, tasting the taste of a folly, the taste of that word failure? How many of you are done? Are you really? Are you going to make a decision? Are you going to change? You can make a decision and bet on you and do the work. Chances are something inside of you says yes, but then something else completely opposite says, I'm not ready. The will that fell. There's a will inside of each and every one of us that binds us. Isn't that strange? You've had the opportunities. You've had the chances. You've had life. But something inside has been dominating your experiences. Something inside has the will to control your behavior from wanting and doing and being more. You're going to spend the same amount of time. Same hours, same days. There's something inside of me that's controlling me. We fail where we might have success. We could have succeeded. Yet, we spend the same power and time to nowhere and no thing. We're stuck in a cycle. I don't know how to get out. I'm stuck in the same amount of money. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck in the same job. I don't know how to get out. We're doing the same thing over and over every day, every week, every month, every year. I don't know what to do. So strange. You don't even know what's holding you back. And it's unseen. If you don't know the mind, you don't know anything. We're giving you a better understanding of you. Why? Because you are the only thing that you'll ever have. Your mind is set. An individual's mind is set or it's growing. It's create or disintegrate. You don't stay put. But if there was no definite end, that mindset just floating along. In the absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely enslaved by daily trivia. And before long, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years is gone. To what? Mediocre things. Because we didn't know that there was a will inside of us controlling our behavior. Even controlling how far you imagine. Even controlling what you want. Isn't that strange? Let any psychologist tell you how much energy a mature man must expend to resist motion. A powerful struggle must be waged against the forces of life and movement in order to remain inert. Also, this struggle takes place so far beneath the surface of our lives that we do not always become aware of it. The physical inaction is no true sign that life force is not being burned away. It is, all day long. Life force is being burned away. To what definite end? If you don't have one, that's the problem. You don't have a goal. You never decided where you were going to go. And if you did, somewhere along the point, you stopped deciding. Somewhere along life, you stopped choosing where you were going. Isn't that strange? Why would somebody stop choosing where they're going? They don't know that there's a belief controlling their behavior in their subconscious mind, deciding how far you would go. So even the idler is using fuel while he dreams, while he trades his time. We were conditioned to have value production mindset or value creation mindset. Value production is where you trade your time for money. That's a conditioning. That's a way of thinking. That's a mindset. Now, if you always think I'm going to trade my time for money, you run out of time. That's why you run out of money. Who did that? People we were around. Is there more? You know that there's more because there's different people expressing their reality, experiencing it. Why is it that they went further and you didn't? What is controlling your desire? What is controlling your ability to make decisions? What is controlling your persistence? What is controlling your will? My God, we've never gone so far deep inside of ourselves. Why would you not go so far deep inside of yourself? Why would you not observe? When failure comes about through devoting precious hours to time-killing pursuits, we all see that energy is being diverted from its proper channel. Energy in motion is thought in motion. Why would it be diverted towards failure? But there are ways of killing time which do not look like dissipation. But there are ways of killing time which do not look like dissipation. It doesn't look like you're going the wrong way. You spend hours doing nothing. It's going to take you nowhere. To be nobody. To have nothing. Why is this so important? It's your whole life. They can seem, on the contrary, like conscientious and dutiful hard work. They often draw praise and approval from onlookers and arouse a sense of complacency in us. It is only by looking more closely, by discovering that this work gets us nowhere. Wow. Me, oh my. I haven't been studying what I've been doing. Why are we always studying everyone else? Looking to see what they're doing so that I can replicate their activity, so that I can replicate what they do. Why wouldn't I go outside of these people and go find another group? Why wouldn't I go outside to go replicate somebody that was successful? Why wouldn't I go find somebody that was successful? The chances are you're not around them. Chances are you're not around the right people. So how do we dictate what success is? Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. A continued success. What is success? It's a continual progression of a worthy idea. You get there, you got to set another one. A person that's successful is somebody that's continually setting goals. Goals they've never done before. Goals they never achieved. Goals they have no clue of doing. That person is successful. And the chances are you've rarely been around one. Why would those odds be like this, in this manner? Because 97, 98% were programmed to be the same way, to think more or less the same. You think it's normal that 97% work for the 3%? Those odds are huge. But do you think that's normal? Don't you think it's fairly odd that only 1% are earning over $500,000 a year? Don't you think that's odd? Only 1% earns over $500,000 a year? That's not an accident. That's clearly on purpose. They're on purpose. Do you know how many percent stay underneath 250,000? That's not an accident. That's on purpose. Do you know how many people stay under 150,000? If you don't know, why haven't you asked? Why haven't you looked? Isn't that odd? That's on purpose. And go look how many are under 100,000. It's going to blow your mind. They could have chose anything. They could have been anyone. They could have had anything. But isn't it odd? Such a peculiar thing that controls our behavior, our experiences. When failure comes about through devoting precious hours to time-killing pursuits, we can all see that energy is being diverted from its proper channel. It's still working. You're still spending time. You're still spending hours. You're still spending your life. But there are ways of killing time which do not look like dissipation. They can seem, on the contrary, like conscientious and dutiful hard work. They often draw praise and approval from onlookers and arouse a sense of complacency in us. It is only by looking more closely, by discovering that this work gets us nowhere, that it both tires us and leaves us unsatisfied. That we see here again energy being devoted to the pursuit of failure. You weren't even aware what was going on. It's a strange thing. If you want to know more of what we're discussing, this is what we're teaching. We're unlocking the box for you guys. We're letting you see inside. But why should this be so? Why, if the same energy we must use in any case, we might be succeeding, do we so seldom live, truly live, the lives we hoped and planned to live? Go back to that little child. The inspiration, the love for life. 60, 70, 80, 90, 20. Somewhere along the line, you stop believing in you. Then 20 hits, 21, 22, 23, 24. At 27, majority are done. It's a sad thing. Their aspirations, their dreams, the visions. Their conscious belief said, I can, I am, I will. I've got it all to me. I've got the whole world. But the strangest thing happened. You stopped desiring more. It even sometimes felt so good. Same energy's been spent. Same energy. We walk around with people without goals. We walk around with people without definite ends. We walk around with people that do not do things on purpose anymore. It's a rather sad thing. We didn't know what was controlling us. We didn't even know that we didn't know. It's a peculiar thing. Why do we accomplish so little and thwart ourselves senselessly? Why, when we start late or run out of gas because of carelessness or miss road signs through daydreaming, do we think we are being properly philosophical when we give ourselves and others excuses for failure, which will not hold water? No one truly consoles himself by considering his own actions. You don't check them. You never really look back, nor do you want to. Isn't that strange? You don't even want to look back at why you're stuck. You don't even want to look at when you stopped dreaming. You don't want to even evaluate why you stopped dreaming. The will to fail. Majority of the people were programmed with the will to fail. They didn't even know it. Sounds like a really strong thing to say, but what would keep so many people stuck? The will is strong. The will are images. We selected them. Majority, somebody else selected the images that we work with. We didn't understand that subconscious mind controls your behavior. You didn't understand that all the images that you hold in your subconscious mind were already willed together. You thought you were controlling your life. We thought we were in control. The will was truly your ability to select. Nobody taught you that. And somebody already wielded your power by pre-selecting images that you were going to work with. So many were already destined to failure. Mediocre lives, mediocre experiences. The will controlling your desires, your visions, your wants, your aspirations, controlling everything about your life, and you weren't even aware of it. This is why we were doing this. We're doing this so that we can wake up as many people as we can, so we can help as many people as we can. Beginning of this, I said, majority of people don't know who they are. They say, I want to be spiritual, I want to be spiritual, I want to be spiritual. You are already spiritual. You're just not awake. Why don't you walk around and say, I want to be awake. I want to be alive. I want to understand. And then look for the understanding. And then you'll begin to wake up. You are willed sleep. Unconscientious about what you're doing. You're willed to trade your time for money. Unconscientious about it. You're willed to go into a salary. You're willed to go into college. You're willed to go to a certain degree. Each and every one of us, according to the time, the space, the geography, the culture that we went into, we were willed to think in a certain way. And if you don't wake up, because your spiritual essence wasn't able to penetrate through all of that will. Everybody wants more and everyone desires more. Everybody feels that I am presence. Everybody feels that I am presence. but very few really let it work. I am powerful. I'm strong. I'm capable. I'm willing. I'm able. I will. I will rewrite my history. I will rewrite my name. I will rewrite my culture. The culture wasn't yours. I will rewrite who I am. Everything was willed upon you to think in a certain way. We deceive no one. Although our compromises and excuses are accepted by our followers, our fellows, our fellow humans, as long as they are in the same boat. Isn't that interesting? We deceive no one. Our excuses are accepted by everyone around us, as long as they are in the same boat. Accident? No. The successful man or woman listens to such whistling in the dark with amusement. Privately concluding that there is a great deal of hypocrisy loose in the world. He has the best evidence that the rewards of well-directed activity. He has the best evidence. Only he or she, have the best evidences that the rewards of well-directed activity far surpass all the byproducts of failure. We know that those who succeed see the same sunsets, breathe the same air, loved and are loved no less than failures. And in addition to something more, the knowledge that they have chosen to move in the direction of life, that growth was the acquisition. Prosperity, health, wealth, happiness were results of a continued expression of growth. Results. The opposite was disintegration, dissatisfaction, complacency, unfulfilled. If you're feeling any of these opposite states, you know which side of the track you're on. Health, wealth, prosperity, abundance, succession, or conformity. Conformity. Disintegration, dissatisfaction, no longer dissatisfied. You know where you're going. You're either going up or you're going down. And even the people that are up eventually get to dissatisfaction again. Why? They didn't know that the I am factor was always wanting more. Eventually, it gets tired of being where it's at, and it's ready to grow. So this is why I know the psychology behind belief and behavior. It doesn't matter where you're at. Eventually, you're going to get stuck. And dissatisfaction sets in because it's our spiritual nature to want more. And there's nothing wrong with wanting more. The people that say, when are you going to stop wanting, don't want more, or don't you have enough, are the people that don't have enough. And that are dissatisfied, and something inside of them is still telling them, you know there's more. We've got more in us. Success is constitutional. Depends on a plus condition of mind and body, on power of work, on courage. Then why do we fail? Especially, why do we work hard at failure? Why do we work hard? Man, I've seen people give their whole life to failure. They didn't know they're giving life to their will, the will to fail. They didn't understand that in the subconscious mind, our will, I'm going to say it again, is our ability to select images. If the right images were not given to you, you're using the same image processing systems as the generations and the culture around you. That's why so many people stay stuck. The will was your ability to select the images that you will work with. But for some odd reason, you kept selecting. You could have picked any image, any picture that you would become, anything. But you kept selecting these images on purpose. The purpose was to stay conformed. My God. That was your whole life. For some of you, it could be beginning. Some of you could be in the middle. It doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter how old you are. Understanding change everything for you. Why do we fail? More specifically, why do we work so hard at failure? Because besides being creatures subject to the will to live and the will to power, we are also driven by another will, the will to fail or die. 3 wills, 3 different directions. The will to live, the will to power, and the will to fail or die. Those wills are different image-making processes that were put in your subconscious. That's why intellectually you could say, oh, I know this information, but you don't express anything different. Oh, I know about personal development, but yet you're not doing what you say you know. Oh. Why so many fall within the 90%? Intellectually, we think we got it. Subconsciously, we don't. And the proof's in the numbers. Numbers always tell us the truth. They tell you how you trade your time, what you go and do, how you do it, how far you selected unconsciously or consciously that you were going to go. Why is this so important? Because it's your whole life. Every second, a child's being born. Every few seconds, an essence is coming through and inheriting a body. And then somebody's programming that child. We've got to be conscious of what we're doing. And then we've got to make decisions of where we're going. That's true. If some of you are new, welcome to I Am Mastermind. Everyone's a mastermind. Very few are aware. Master the mind, master your reality. Thank you guys. Thank you for the time that you've had, the time you've taken to look at this, and really go inside and look at yourself. If you're here and you stayed here the whole time, it's because you believe. You believe in you. Thank you for believing you. Give yourself a pat on the back. You're worthy of it. I know you are. Each and every one of us are. Make a committed decision that you're going to get involved in this study. You're going to work towards it. Make a committed decision to get signed up. Your whole life will change. It did for me, and it has for many others. Have a wonderful day.